happy to talk about this because it is relatively straightforward. And many people see this little half moon, you know, and we've got one down in Yarra Glen, one in Eltham. We don't have one in the Bend, but we're working on that. But you'll see the little arrow most times of the year, particularly in the fire danger period. The low, moderate is generally around here, and they're pretty good days. It really means the fire danger index is below 25. So it really means if it's below 25, the index is a combination of since the last rain, relative humidity, expected temperature, the curing rate of grass, how the forest is going in terms of its drying rate. So it's a complex measurement to get the fire danger index, but it equates to these particular areas. So low, moderate and high generally means relatively easy to control a fire. You know, you can get close to it, we can put it out. We're happy as a brigade. When it starts to get into severe, which is up to about 50, at the end of very high and into severe is where a total fire ban's called, generally. And the CFA makes decisions about, as you know, in different parts of Victoria, and we're in central area. You know, if it starts to climb up around 40 and beyond, then it's generally a harder fire to control, hotter, windier, less humidity, and therefore that's where a total fire ban's called. So people aren't allowed to have work their tools outside. Got to be careful with barbecues, etc. And that's where we start to see fire starts. You know, a good example recently in our area was one of our brigade members, actually, who remained nameless, but was out mowing the grass because he was concerned that it was getting hot. It wasn't a total fire ban day, but it was a day around 40. The fire danger index was around 40, and the grass around the motor caught fire. It spread out onto the grassland, and we had an immediate grass fire up in Christmas Hills area. So it happens very quickly. This time of the year, the fire danger rises fairly quickly during the day. We have a fairly cool in the morning, and the bomb site does show, the Bureau site shows Coldstream sort of slowly heats up during the day. Mangalore, Melbourne Airport, depends on which part of Melbourne you are, and it heats up, and it shows you how difficult it is to control. As I was explaining before, at the beginning of extreme is 75 is when we leave the bend. So what does it say about that? Extremely hot, dry, windy conditions. If a fire starts and takes hold, it will be uncontrollable. So for us as a brigade, what we try and do is protect assets. So we go around houses and try and protect them. We know we can't put out a fire. We try and do the flanks of it. We can't get to the head of it. We make sure helicopters are coming in and fixed-wing aircraft to try and knock out the fire. But it's basically uncontrollable. It'll go. So part of our role is to get other assets in, other brigades in, to try and protect houses. And of course, Code Red is days like Black Saturday, and that was probably, we've only had one of these Code Red days since in 10 years. Very, very bad days. They've had a few up north, around the top of the Murray, etc. But that means it's very, very, absolutely uncontrollable. So that's the basic index. Low, high, and into the low, very highs, controllable. Most summer days are like this, down in here. Starts to get severe, total fire ban days. Half a dozen a year we have. Really, 365 days, we have half a dozen a year. Maybe bad year, we might get 10. Extreme days, we have 2 or 3 a year. Code Red, maybe once every 5 years. So it's worth keeping an eye on that. You know, once it starts to get into severe, extreme Code Red, we would argue you shouldn't be in the bend. Unless you've got extremely good defences around the house, a bunker, and you're confident you can defend your house, and you've got 2 or 3 able-bodied people, lots of water, you can sustain the trauma of trying to defend your house, then I wouldn't be in the bend from severe, around 50 beyond. It's not good enough. So that's a bit about this. There's these Prepare and Survive. We've got plenty of those if people want them. And we've got other publications that will really help people if they're interested.